Continue building the cam and dimensioning it. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and type in 0, 0. And what we're doing is we're still building, this is the center line. So I've put it in the center here. So I'm on the layer for the center line and it's in red. So that's how I know that's in the right layer. And now obviously I see the center line. All right, so now I need to do a couple things here. I need to trim this because this circle actually is just a partial circle here. So I'm going to trim it, and then you have to be very careful. But what you want to do is you want to zoom in on it, and if you have your snap settings correct, you'll be able to just truncate this or make this shorter. If you stay right on the line, you can bring it off because you actually need a little gap there. All right, so you just stay right on that line. It'll snap right on there, like so. All right, so what that is indicating is where the center of that circle is that we trimmed for the outside of this cam. All right, so make sure you're in the right layers, and then we're going to go back to the dimension layer, and I'm going to add some more dimensions here. And so if you have a textbook or you have the snapshot of this, you can just follow along from there, and I'm just going to simply go through it all. So the gap there is a 1/2 inch. All right, so I'm kind of jockeying back and forth here. I'm going to make another line. Here's the construction lines. All right, so I'm gonna need to add some more construction lines because I actually want to build this object to the right of it. And so I need to determine how far apart it's going to be, and I'm going to go ahead and this one's going to be the top here 4 inches, and so I'm going to add these construction lines here. So this will help me when I start to do the orthographic views, and I'm going to make the side view to the right of it in a moment. All right, so all these little parts where they might be hidden lines, and you can also just do this later, and I suspect I'm going to have to do some because I probably am going to miss a couple here. So that's going to be a hidden line there. And then I have all these lines that are essentially intersecting, and so that is going to be well, we're probably going to see the end of that cam and not the hidden line there for that center. So I'm just going to go ahead and build all these out. And again, you can do this later. It's just having construction lines can make this easier later on. All right, and I'm just going to do this to the top because I can always mirror the lines later that I do. All right, so what I'm doing is at all those intersections where there's going to have to be a line on the view to the right is what I'm now drawing for us. And I'm sure I've probably missed a couple here, but as I said, I can always do them later when I'm building it. Let's try that again here. So offset, select the center line. This is going to be where the part is, and this is going to be 8 inches over. All right, so that's the construction line. And then I'm going to go ahead and build this part, so to speak, in the construction line. So I simply will offset it, and I know that the part is 1 inch total, but it's in 2 pieces at 1/2 inch. I'll select the part, move to the right, push enter again, select the part, the line, move it to the right. All right, so that's going to encompass the side view. So let's go ahead and select the object line, and I'm just going to start building this out. So because I have these object lines here, these construction lines, I can just build rectangles, and there's also a little 1/4 inch radius that I'm going to have to be aware of. So lots of different ways to do this. I think I'm getting a little lazy here. I'll just do this in a big rectangle, knowing I might have to trim this and most of it's going to disappear, but I can get this started this way. All right, so this is the side view, and what we're seeing on the left is what we would say the top view is, right? All right, so here's where I can just essentially use the object snap. All right, and so I'm just giving myself a visualization of what this is going to look like. Now, I know I need a radius there, so what I'll do then is go ahead and use the fillet. And so what I do is I'm going to click the radius. It wants to know what the radius is after I selected it, and this is at 0.25 inches. And so what you do is you basically select the left line and the right line here, and there it builds. Now you notice all the other lines disappear, right? So I'll just very easily build that back in here, right? Not a big deal, because I have those construction lines, and I'm just going to make half of this. All right, and then I'll just mirror it, escape, and the outside is consistent, so I'll go ahead and type in mirror. And then I'll select those object lines there, push enter, select the midpoint, drag it to the left. I certainly don't want to delete it, so no, which is the defaults to. All right, and then I'm going to make some hidden lines here. All right, so I'm in hidden line. Now, because I already have these construction lines, but it's still, there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to be really careful what I'm doing here. All right, so that's a hidden line, and there's one below it. This is where the key is on that, for that cylinder. And then below it, I only need to make one, because the other one was the key. But if I have the object snap, I can just go ahead and drag along that line, and then at the intersection, go ahead and click it. All right, so those are the hidden lines. It's in the hidden line layer. And so, let's see, we've got some more, but I actually think that's going to get covered up by the line itself of the part. But I already have that construction line. Okay, so hidden lines are done. Let's get some more object lines for those intersections. And so I have them on the snap. And you can, if you don't have the object, you can always just drag it to the right. And I missed one here, I can tell. So there's one just below the construction line there. All right, I'm just building this out. So wherever there's an intersection is what I'm showing. All right, and the hidden line is actually behind it, so you really only have one here. You wouldn't need to have that hidden line behind it. But when it prints out, you wouldn't even see it. All right, so all those intersections is what I'm drawing right now. And I'm only going to do half of this because this is a symmetrical object from the outside. All right. So I'll go ahead and type in mirror. And push enter. Select the objects. So I don't need all those hidden lines right there, but here we go. I push enter, go to the midpoint, click, and to the left, and there it is. All right. So again, you can see that line. I don't really need it, but it's all right. So it's back there, but I could delete it, start over, but it's fine. Nobody will see it. Okay, so we're getting pretty close here to the end. One more lesson, I think, and I'm just going to finish this exercise.